The Vikings are one of 2 teams he has beaten more than 5 times without a loss. Can you guess which is the other?
Yeah, Greeny, this is a total shot in the dark. But I know Himbo. Himbo's wanting me to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know he's wanting me to. I'm not. I'm going in the same division. Detroit has stunk for several years. I'm going the Detroit Lions.
Wow, that's interesting. They're not in the same division, which is the first thing, which is why you threw me, because it is a team that is in that division. It's the Falcons. And when you said same division, I thought you were going to get it. I thought you had it there.
The Vikings.
Oh, the same division as the Vikings.
Right.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the same division as he's in now with the Buccaneers. He is 4-0
Now I'm
against Tampa.
devastated because I confused everybody.
He is 5-0 against the Cowboys, 6-0 against the Vikings and the Falcons. It's well played. How did they get there? Let's show you. Yesterday,
I got no chance with that
Minnesota.
question.
No, that was an unfair question. But here comes Brady. Here we go. Oh, and his best friend's in attendance. Roger Goodell was there to watch the game. First quarter, Bucks 3rd and 3. And Dan, Brady just did not look good in the first quarter at all.
Yeah, especially on 3rd down. He gets a little spot route. Gronk kind of pops wide open there and just oversails that run early to start that game.
Yeah, here comes another one. You're going to see Brady stepping up in the pocket. He's going to have a wide-open Chris Godwin. Dan, what happens here?
Yeah, this is great protection, and Brady's really getting to number 3 or number 4 in his progression. He starts to his right. It's not there. Pump fake. It's not there. Middle of the field's going to vacate, and he sees that linebacker. It's like, do I rip it now? Do I try to get it up over his head? That indecision, the unsettledness really showed up. But this was awesome. Great protection. Hang in the pocket. See the safety cut, and then he's got his real. This is his deep threat. Scotty Miller. This is awesome. To find that post, that ball goes 50-plus yards downfield. An absolute dime from Tom Brady. Finally got this offense going.
Scotty Miller had become the forgotten man in this offense. They go up 7-6, then a big play, Rex. Right before halftime, they're going to get a pass interference in the end zone on Gronk. Is this a good call?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, we can call this every single game, and it's never called.
They would get a field goal out of it. 17-6 is your score. Same score in the second half. And you know what? They ran the ball, Dan. This is Shady McCoy. They ran it for 107.
Yeah, Shady McCoy knows that play. A little bit of an inside zone. Get that defender to sync up. And then that wrap around the outside, and then that 12 personnel play action pass ball to Mike Evans. This is awesome because it comes out on time. One hitch, it's in between that safety coming over and that corner that's drifting in underneath. A perfect throw by Tom Brady, and then finish it off. Little flash fake, Gronk high in the end zone, touchdown Tampa Bay. Buccaneers go on to win it 26-14, and afterwards their head coach was very excited about what he saw.
When asked early this week about our identity, I think we just showed our identity. We can do any damn thing we want to do.
That's an interesting way to look at this thing. And it does beg the question, Dan Orlovsky, what game do we think he watched?
I didn't watch the same Tampa Bay game that Bruce Arians did. I thought they were the most unimpressive team that I focused on yesterday. I mean, they earned 21 points. They scored 24. You're not going to get that Hail Mary field goal that whatever, if it's a penalty or not, you're probably not going to get those 3 points traditionally. And then the Vikings kind of hurt themselves with all those missed kicks. That's 10 points right there. I mean, you could easily lost that football game to a team that was in overtime against the one-win Jags the week before. And you look the same as you did before the bye week. There wasn't a ton of, impactful pre-snap motion. There wasn't a ton of play-action pass. There wasn't a ton of 12 personnel. There was a drive in the third quarter that looked cool. Other than that, you looked very similar. So I walk away going, what did you guys do in the bye week? What did you figure out in the bye week that you're like, we got to do more of that or we got to do less of this? I thought the Buccaneers looked very similar to what they did for the great majority of this season offensively, and they were really unimpressive to me in their win.
What'd you see, RC?
No, I think that you guys hit it dead on. I don't know what game he was watching, but this is what I do know about BA from spending some time with him in Pittsburgh is he is very much like our friend Marcus Spears. He ain't scared of that yak. And, you never know. Maybe he got back to the locker room and hit a little bit of that yak first before he gave this post-game press conference, because that's not it. That team you saw doesn't make you walk into your post-game press conference with your chest poked out thinking that arrogantly confident that you played a great game or that you could do whatever the hell you want. This isn't a team that moved the ball up and down the football field against the Minnesota Vikings. This isn't a team that blew the Minnesota Vikings out without them losing 10 points because Dan Bailey can't kick the oblong ball made of pigskin through the big H. they were struggling offensively against the Minnesota Vikings. They missed some plays early until the Scotty Miller big touchdown. They didn't run the football necessarily as efficiently as I think they need to for the play action game to be great. And this defense wasn't dominant at all. This is the team that's supposed to be ascending to be an NFC championship contender, and they are not. And that's what Bruce Arians should have been talking about more than the fact that they could do whatever the hell they want.
Now, to take the other side of it, Rex, I know there is something they did that you liked very much.
Well, I actually like the fact they did at least attempt to run the football. So, and they got Brady under center some. So if there's a positive that way, let's face it, you know what they do over the bye week? They probably played a lot of golf. They wanted to play a little more golf than they did. But yes, no, none of us know what the hell Bruce is talking about. Maybe it's the fact that they did run the football a little more. And yes, he knows you're going to have to be balanced. Especially, you know, going into this month and in the playoffs.
So as you watch them, and again, we're going to get to some of the other teams that we've seen. New Orleans, we've seen, and obviously New Orleans has beaten them twice this year, Green Bay and others. Is Tampa right now, that team you watched yesterday, are they a threat to make a deep playoff run?
No, I don't see that. And let's face it,
Nope.
Dalvin Cook, you know, they ran the ball down their throat. And who outplayed who? If they had a kicker like, you know, Dan Bailey, look, bless his heart, he was a good kicker at once. But nobody cares who the hell you kicked for, you know, before.
Right.
You got to do a job right
Hell
now,
no.
and he didn't do it. And all the momentum you lose when you don't kick field goals. Ugh.
A quick final thought. Go ahead, Danny.
I just think that there's nothing in this football team that makes me go, like, the expectations are Super Bowl. There's nothing in this football team that I go, that's a Super Bowl caliber performance or unit or identity. I don't see that at all with this football team.
Very quickly, I'm being told in my ear that Doug Peterson has done a radio interview this morning. I'm just going to throw this in and says he has not made a decision yet on who his quarterback is going to be next week. We have very definitively made that decision for him.
We chose Jalen.
Doug, if you're watching, the choice has already been made. You may be the last one to know. Okay, all kidding aside, let's get on to our next games here because we go through Tampa and we get to the NFC East, where here's the best team in that division, right? The Giants have been hot, and they got their quarterback. And then what the heck happened? Dan, the turnover machine was back in operation.
Yeah, this one's unfortunate for Daniel Jones because he's got his back foot in the ground. He's going to make that throw, pull the trigger, and that unblocked defender that he doesn't see hits him right at that point of contact. Fumble for the Giants.
Yeah, that's Jones' 37th last season, most in the league. And then Kyler Murray. Dan, it's Dan Arnold in the back of the end zone. 13-0.
Yeah, Sam's brother. This is a great job by Kyler drifting versus that pressure, getting the ball out of his hands. But, Greeny, this is the story of the game. These twists and these stunts by the Arizona defensive line that haunted that Giants offensive line. They could not protect their quarterback, and this is an enormous loss for the Giants.
Hassan Reddick, 5 sacks. Cardinals a big win. Meanwhile, the Giants would then go home and watch this. Washington and San Francisco playing in Arizona. Here's a sight you never want to see, and that is Alex Smith injured on a play. He would go down awkwardly on the leg and would not return. The good news, it does not appear to be in any way devastating or related to the injury that he had before. So we'll leave that there. In the meantime, Washington's defense, Dan, was spectacular.
Yeah, this front seven, really, Greeny, is unbelievable. You see that sack fumble, and then Chase Young, I mean, he looks like Julius Peppers right now to me. Just that athleticism, that size, the power to pick up that fumble, scoop and score for the Washington football team.
That was his first career TV. Then what does Nick Mullins do wrong here?
Don't do it. Once your feet tell you you're late, don't do it. Don't do that late throw to that sideline. Those are cookies for the defense. Ryan Clark knows too well when that quarterback makes that decision and you're hanging out there with the flip in the end zone, this defense is turning people over and scoring.
Washington, 2 defensive touchdowns in a game for the first time in 23 years. Then it's Dwayne Haskins playing. Candidly, there's no other way to describe it. He looked very bad yesterday. This probably should have been an interception. It's ultimately overturned. Washington holds on to win. They